Welcome to another edition of Grizz Talk. I'm your host, Paul Camp. I'm here with Oakland men's basketball coach Greg Kampe, fresh off his Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wing eating contest victory. How do you feel, Coach?
Well, my mouth's a little hot right now. I'll try and be able to talk, but, you know, I wasn't going to lose when it comes to eating. I mean, just look at me. You can tell that, you know, I'm pretty good at that eating stuff.
Now, like you were telling Neil at half court earlier, how do you guard against the expectations coming into this year based on the success of last year?
Well, you know, I think it's really, really difficult in the Division I level to win a championship. I mean, it's so hard to do. Very few people do it. And, you know, we battled, we won it, we fought all the things that you could fight through, injuries and everything. We had a season where we, you know, kind of a magical season. But that's over. Reggie Hamilton, who was one of our captains, doesn't have a ring. We have some freshmen that don't have rings. And nobody cares about what happened. All anybody cares about is what's going to happen. And that's what we're, you know, we accomplished something very good last year, but it's just a memory now. And this team has moved on. We don't even talk about last year. We talk about this year. So I'm not worried about it. And, you know, if things don't go well, everybody could point to that. But that's not going to happen. We're focused on what we have to do.
Do you have an idea who will be your starting point guard?
Well, I told you this in the spring, and after going through the summer, and our all the stuff that we've done here in the fall, I really don't want to play Reggie at the point. I really don't. Now, he's going to have the ball in his hands, and as I told you in the spring, we're going to have the ball in people's hands by committee. We're going to play fast, a little faster probably than we've played in the past, just because we have so many good athletes. We are really, really on the perimeter athletic, fast, and we have lots of guys. So you play slow, I won't be able to sub as much because they don't want to come out. But you get going fast, we'll be able to substitute a little bit. So because we're playing fast, the ball's going to be in everybody's hands. When we get down into our offense and we run a set or we're trying to get the ball into Benson, I think you're going to see the ball in Larry Wright's hands. You're going to see it in Ledrick Eccles' hands, and you're going to see it more if Ryan Bass gets into the rotation. You're going to see it in those three kids' hands just because Hamilton can really shoot. And, you know, our weakness last year, in my opinion, our biggest weakness last year was the ability to knock down three-point shots on a consistent day in and day out level. We would have great games when we shot the three, and when we did that, we were unbeatable. But we were consistently shot the three ball poorly, and that's what Reggie Hamilton can do really well, and Bader can do that, and we have some guys this year that can do it. And so I don't want the ball in Reggie's hands. I want him coming off screens where he can knock down shots.
Could you talk a little bit about another tough schedule? I mean, you managed to top last year's even.
I don't think we can ever top this one. I mean, we have 6 teams in the preseason top 20. We have 3 teams in the preseason top 5. You know, I know last year we had Kansas was number 1, and I think Syracuse was 2 or 3 when we played them, and State was 2 or 3 when we played them. But this is one after another. Purdue and Illinois. I mean, I made a joke about the Big Ten that we're probably going to be on the Big Ten network more than Northwestern, and that might be true. I mean, we're on there a lot. 5 Big Ten games. Tennessee, a great series with Tennessee. We go there, they come here. We got Michigan State in the Palace, and then we open at West Virginia, Final Four team. They were in the Final Four, right? Yeah, they got the Final Four. So, yeah, I think so.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Yeah, well, I know they were in the Elite 8. I think they were in the Final Four. West Virginia, Butler, Michigan State, and Duke.
Yeah, so the Final.
They were a Final Four team. They're coming off that. Yeah, I'm a student of the game. And we opened there with them. So, you know, we put ourselves out there. We could get our butts beat, or we could come in, we could do something special. And I like this team, boy, I really do. What I said out there, I meant. I think this team has the makings of the best team in the history of Oakland University. We have a 6'11" center that's a dominant player, that's going to be a pro. And how many times are we going to have? I said to somebody recently, I go, I mean, we got to win. We got a 6'11" kid. They don't come along very often. And I stood back and thought, geez, this is my 33rd year, and he's the first one. You know, so it's not that they don't come along often. They don't come along. So we've got to take advantage of this, and this group of kids is ready to. You don't have to ask me any questions. I can just keep talking if you want.
Okay. Well, could you talk about the Summit League race? I mean, obviously Oral Roberts and IU, PUI are going to be some big competitors, but have you sat down to look at that at all yet?
Well, you know, you think about that every day, and I don't want to get anybody mad, but and I think Oral Roberts is going to be pretty good, and I think that IUPUI is going to be pretty good. I think any time you have those two coaches, they're going to be competitive in the league. You know, I hear all this stuff about Oral Roberts' recruiting class, but I haven't seen them. I hear all this stuff about some kids they had get hurt in the past, but I haven't seen them. So you know, based on what I hear, I guess they're pretty good. IUPUI, they lost 3 pretty good players. It's tough to replace 3. You can replace 1, you can replace 1.5, but 3 is tough to replace. The one kid though, what's the left hand? No, the left hand.
Oh, Alex Young.
Alex Young. The wall's talking to us. Alex Young.
That's WXOU's Neil Rule in the background, everyone.
Alex Young is one of the best players in the conference, and so when you have one of the best players in the league, you're going to win games. But my thing is I think that Fort Wayne is the real dark horse. They were really good at the end of the year last year. They have a veteran backcourt, 2 4-year starters in Plackmeyer and Botts. They did lose 1 good player, but they've, their big kid McCorkle was really coming on, 6'10", and again in our league, when you got 6'10", there aren't a lot of people that have that, and that kid was coming on at the end of the year. They beat South Dakota State in the first round of the conference tournament, which beat the home team on their court. It was a heck of a win. And I really think people are looking past Fort Wayne. I think Fort Wayne's got a chance, not only to compete for the championship, I think they could win the championship. So, yeah, I think there's four teams out there. I think South Dakota State has got some young kids. North Dakota State has some young kids that if they're as good as they hope, they could be in the top 3, 4 spots. So it's going to be a very competitive league, 1 through 5 or 6.
Well, thank you for that very thorough explanation. That was perfect.
And all you guys that write in
better than those
media,
magazines.
yeah, those magazines. Man, just call me. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I mean, I read some crap. I can't believe some of these guys write. So just call me on. I easily tell you what's going to happen.
Well, Coach, as always, it's been a pleasure.
All right,
Thanks
my
for the
mouth
time.
is burning, man. Ooh.
There's one
But I
water
won.
left in the cooler.
I won.
You did.
I went to the well
We didn't even have to go to the replay either.
I know. I thought we were going to, but
Stephens didn't even throw his challenge flag. That's all
well, you
all
know
need
what?
to know.
He
was using it to wipe the sauce of his mouth.
He was done putting the bones down before I was, but he was still chewing.
Yeah.
And so I told him to go to replay, but they didn't. They gave it to me. I deserved it.
Of course, it's your home court.
That's right.
Join us again for another edition of Grizz Talk at theoaklandpress.com.